Luke Tremblay is a hunter who lives alone in a log cabin on the edge of the Yukon taiga. One morning in early January, when the river was covered in ice, Luke discovered a gray wolf trapped in a hole in the ice. The animal was nearly frozen to death. Only its two front legs clung to the edge, and its eyes were covered in ice, unable to see the sun. Luke could have walked away like anyone else, but instead, he took off his coat, knelt on the ice, and pulled the animal out. The wolf was unconscious, its fur soaked, and it weighed more than 80 kilograms. Luke carried it back to the cabin, amid the distant howls of the forest. He named it Ghost, a soul lost in the snow. For days, Ghost lay still by the fire. He didn't eat, he didn't sleep, and only looked at Luke with silent eyes. Luke cared for him with his bare hands. He thought about his youth and what the forest had taught him about life. A month later, Ghost slowly began to recover, but his hind legs were still paralyzed. When Elliot, Luke's son, came to spend the winter, he was surprised to see a wolf lying on the cabin floor. Although Elliot was initially afraid, he quickly became attached to Ghost. He massaged his legs and taught him how to walk. Ghost didn't growl but lay calmly, allowing the boy to touch him. The recovery was slow but miraculous. Ghost slowly began walking around the cabin again. The friendship between the father, the boy, and the wolf grew as the snow melted. But danger loomed when a forest ranger named Bradford suspected Luke of illegally keeping wild animals. Bradford arrived at the cabin and threatened to call the authorities, claiming Ghost was dangerous. Luke knew he couldn't keep Ghost forever, and Elliot understood the wolf did not belong to man. On the day the snow melted, the three of them, Luke, Elliot, and Ghost, ventured deep into the snowy forest, heading toward the White Horse Range. On a high mountainside, Ghost lifted his head and listened to the howling of his kind. The animal turned, nudged Elliot, licked Luke's hand, and then ran into the shadows of the forest. Both father and son stood still and watched, tears mixing with the melting snow. Years later, Elliot chose to live with his father in the Yukon forest, where he trained to become a man of nature. Sometimes on a moonlit night, the howling of wolves can be heard in the distance. Luke always recognized a deeper, stronger howl, like Ghost's greeting. Elliot never forgot the wolf who changed his life and brought him back to his father. The forest is no longer a wilderness, but a home for wounded souls. And somewhere, Ghost still lives, still leads the pack, still silently protects the people who saved him. No chain can hold loyalty. Only the heart knows the way back. Luke realized that real life doesn't begin by holding on, but by knowing when to let go. Ghost was gone, but his paw prints remained in their hearts, like snow on an early spring morning. Dear friend, thank you for taking the time to watch our story. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the next episodes.